What if everything you thought you knew about being a Virgo was only 1/3 of the truth? What if your strengths, your struggles, your deepest inner world weren't just shaped by your zodiac sign, but by the exact slice of time you were born into? Not just Virgo, but which Virgo? Because beneath the calm surface of this sign lies a triad, 3 paths, 3 frequencies, 3 distinct blueprints of the Virgo soul, each written by the date you arrived into this world. And in 2026, those differences, they're no longer background noise, they're front and center. This isn't the year to blend in with the Virgo stereotype. This is the year to meet the exact version of yourself you were always meant to become. Some Virgos are builders, born to correct to structure, to protect the balance of systems and silence. Others are artists, feeling everything, sensing the world's pain and beauty like a sacred code. And some are guardians of time. They lead, they endure, and they carry a weight no one else dares to hold. So which one are you? Because once you find out, everything begins to make sense. Why you think the way you do, why you struggle with what others dismiss, why you can't and shouldn't be like anyone else born under your sign. This video is not about labeling you, it's about liberating you. You'll discover which of the 3 Virgo soul patterns belongs to you based on your birthday, and what 2026 is here to awaken, refine, or finally release. But first, a warning. Once you see which Virgo type you are, you can't unsee it. And you may never look at yourself the same way again. Let's begin the journey inward. Comment below your birthday and let us guess which Virgo path you walk. Stay until the end. Your 2026 may just depend on it. Part 1. The Silent Architect. Virgo Type 1. August 23rd to September 1st. There's a kind of Virgo that doesn't just analyze the world. They carry its invisible architecture within their nervous system. If you were born between August 23rd and September 1st, you may already feel it, that quiet tension between what is and what should be. You're not here to react, you're here to design. You notice the crooked lines, the misplaced word, the misaligned timing. Even in the simplest of situations, your mind zooms in, not to judge, but to restructure. You were born with the soul of an architect, not the kind who builds buildings, but the one who rebuilds systems, repairs order, and stabilizes the space no one else realizes is unstable. But here's the part no one tells you. Your brilliance wasn't born from pride, it was born from survival. Long before you called it perfectionism, you learned that being correct kept you safe, that being ahead kept you needed, that noticing the tiniest shift in energy, the flicker in someone's tone, the subtle chaos behind their smile, was the only way to stay in control of a world that often isn't. And so you refined your perception into a weapon. You honed your logic into a shield. You built invisible scaffolding around everything you love, hoping it would never collapse. But sometimes you collapse inside it. Because when you're the silent architect, no one sees the structures you hold. They just expect them to stay standing. You've spent years being the one who fixes, who fills in the gaps, who gets it done. And yet deep down, you may still feel like it's never enough. That no matter how well you do it, how much you hold together, how flawlessly you execute, there's always something left to tighten, to improve, to carry. Here's the soul lesson of your Virgo path. You are not broken. You're brilliantly precise, but only when your precision is rooted in peace, not punishment. You don't have to overwork to be worthy. You don't have to perfect everything to deserve rest. 2026 is the year this type of Virgo must begin to shift, from architecting for survival to building from wholeness, from analyzing others to understanding yourself, from constantly scanning for flaws to learning to sit in the rare sacred moment where nothing is missing. In your career, you're likely the one people turn to in crisis, because when everyone else is overwhelmed, you're already outlining the fix. You shine in systems, thinking, planning, logistics, writing research, coding, auditing, engineering, anything that requires mental precision and solitude. But here's the irony. People trust your mind, but very few get to see your heart. Because Virgo type 1 rarely lets their guard down, not out of fear, but out of a learned truth. If I stop watching every detail, something important might fall apart. In love, you may struggle with letting people help you. You'd rather carry the weight than risk dropping it by asking someone else. You love deeply, but you show it through service, guidance, and responsibility. And sometimes you get mistaken for being cold, when the truth is you've already built 1,000 quiet temples for the people you love. They just didn't see you laying the bricks. The shadow of the silent architect in 2026. You may enter this year with exhaustion masked as efficiency, still running at 110%. Still solving everything before it becomes a problem, but under the surface, a question will rise. Who builds me while I'm building everything else? This is the year you must let go of the idea that only perfection prevents pain, that only sharpness protects you, that only self-reliance is safe. You're not here to fix everything. You're here to restore what matters. You don't need to be everyone's answer. Sometimes the most sacred Virgo work is learning to stop and letting the plan unfold without controlling every part of it. Life lesson: the most powerful system you'll ever build is the one that sustains you, not the one that exhausts you in the name of excellence. A final whisper to this Virgo type: you are the blueprint keeper, the system healer, the one who sees the pieces before others even know they're scattered. But the greatest thing you'll ever build is a version of yourself that no longer needs the world to be flawless in order to feel at peace within it. You can still be precise, but let your precision serve your joy, not your fear. You can still be excellent, but let that excellence begin with how you treat yourself. Comment architect below if this Virgo path speaks to the life you've been quietly building, or if you're only now realizing you've been carrying this blueprint all along. Now, what happens when the Virgo soul begins to feel instead of fix? Let's move into the next path, the Devoted Sculptor, and uncover what lies within those born under Virgo's second heartbeat. Part 2. The Devoted Sculptor. Virgo type 2. September 2nd to September 11th. There's a Virgo who doesn't just see flaws, they see the soul beneath them, and they ache to shape it into something beautiful. If you were born between September 2nd and September 11th, you are what we call the Devoted Sculptor. This is the Virgo whose hands are made for more than fixing. They are here to refine, not out of duty, but from a deep longing to align life with beauty, balance, and truth. The Devoted Sculptor doesn't impose order. They feel the chaos and move through it with tenderness, discipline, and artistry. You see, while the world often sees Virgo as the analyst, this type brings something different, a sacred sensitivity hidden behind routines, and a secret love for beauty that's always seeking a place to land. You are the Virgo who rearranges a space not just for function, but to make it feel right, who chooses words as carefully as an artist blends color, who notices the harmony between shape, light, silence, and flow even when no one else does. And it's not superficial. For you, beauty is not an accessory. It's a language, a compass, a way to keep the world from falling too far apart. You are the type of Virgo who aches when things feel off, who absorbs energies without trying, who walks into a room and senses what's missing before anyone speaks. You notice when someone's voice changes, when the rhythm of a friendship shifts, when a color is just slightly wrong on the wall, but you can't walk away from it until it's corrected. This hyper-awareness is not weakness, it's your soul's tool for creating harmony in places where others only see noise. But there's a cost. Because while you may be the one who restores beauty to your surroundings, inside you are often battling a world that rarely returns the favor. Your sensitivity can become a burden. You feel too much too quickly. And when the world is messy as it always is, you internalize that mess as your personal failing. The Devoted Sculptor is often misunderstood. People may see you as picky or indecisive when the truth is, you're just trying to align reality with something your heart knows is possible but hasn't yet arrived. In work, you may find yourself drawn to anything that allows your eyes and hands to shape form, detail and structure, design style, decoration, healing, writing, editing, curation. But even in the most technical roles, you can't help but infuse it with feeling. You are not satisfied with efficiency alone. It must also feel right. A spreadsheet must flow. A document must breathe. A conversation must be in tune. You bring meaning to mechanics and softness to systems. In relationships, you may give everything. You remember what others forget. You sense what they won't say. You try to create an environment, emotional, mental, physical, that feels safe and beautiful for someone to rest inside. And when they don't see what you've done, or worse, when they leave it behind, it cuts deeper than you'll admit. Because for you, the effort was never just effort, it was love in action. But here lies the shadow of your sculptor soul. You can spend so much time trying to perfect the sculpture of your world that you forget you are part of it too. You give so much energy to adjusting the mood, the tone, the aesthetic, the environment, that your own needs go unmet. You become overwhelmed not because you are weak, but because you carry the emotional temperature of every space you walk through. And when nothing is in harmony, you feel like it's your responsibility to restore it, as if it's your fault for noticing the dissonance in the first place. 2026 is the year your sensitivity must transform not into something harder, but into something stronger. This is the year you begin creating not just beauty for others, but sanctuary for yourself. A space where your inner world isn't judged by how perfect it looks, but how deeply it reflects who you truly are. Life lesson: not everything beautiful must be finished. Some things, including you, are sacred precisely because they are still becoming. So let the curtains be a little crooked. Let your voice shake when it's tired. Let someone else carry the mood for once. And remember, your worth was never tied to your ability to harmonize the world. It was in the courage to feel it and keep loving it anyway. The Devoted Sculptor is not here to fix life. You are here to soften it, to remind people and yourself that form means nothing if it doesn't make the soul feel safe inside it. You are the Virgo who refines, rebalances, and restores meaning to the mundane. But now, it's time to ask, what happens when your beauty is no longer used to mask the pain, but to heal it? That's what 2026 is here to teach. Comment sculptor below if this speaks to how you move through the world. And if this path feels like your reflection, even the unspoken parts. Let's now turn to the third Virgo soul, one shaped not by sensitivity or structure, but by sheer endurance, purpose, and time itself. The final Virgo type, the keeper of time, born between September 12th and September 22nd. Part 3, the keeper of time, Virgo type 3, September 12th to September 22nd. There's a Virgo who was never asked to carry the world, but they did it anyway. If you were born between September 12th and September 22nd, you carry the signature of the keeper of time, the Virgo whose life is marked not by what they say, but by what they silently endure. You are the one who shows up even when it's heavy, the one who meets deadlines when others crumble, the one who remembers the long game even when no one else does. You didn't choose responsibility. Responsibility chose you. And somewhere along the way, you stopped waiting for anyone else to take the lead because you realized they probably wouldn't. This type of Virgo doesn't just believe in order. They become the structure. They are the backbone in families, teams, relationships. They take on more than they speak of because explaining the burden feels like one more task to manage. But the world rarely sees the cost. No one knows how much effort it takes to hold your life and everyone else's together. No one sees how many times you wanted to pause but didn't. How many times you could have let it fall apart, but instead you picked it back up and kept walking. You are praised for your discipline, admired for your focus, relied on for your consistency. But few ever ask at what cost, because being the keeper of time means you never leave before the work is done, even when the work is endless, even when no one notices you stayed late, even when you're the last to rest and the first to rise. In your work, You're the one they count on, not because you shout the loudest, but because you finish, because you follow through. Because while others talk about strategy, you're already solving the problem. You thrive in structured environments, but when the structure is missing, you become it. You build the timelines, you carry the outcomes, you fix what failed before it reaches the surface, and you rarely ask for help, because somewhere deep inside you believe if I don't hold this together, no one will. In love and friendship, you are reliable to a fault. You show up when others fade, you remember birthdays, you keep promises, you sacrifice sleep and silence just to make sure someone else is okay. But when you fall apart, you do it quietly, privately, away from view. Because the keeper of time doesn't want to interrupt anyone else's rhythm. You are strong, but that strength is often misread as never needing support, and your silence, while noble, can become a cage. 2026 is asking you to look at what you've been carrying and to ask yourself a question you've avoided. Am I doing this out of love or out of fear that no one else will? Because when everything becomes your responsibility, you begin to mistake your value for your usefulness. And you are more than what you accomplish. You are more than the projects, the calendars, the checklists, the care. You are not just the keeper of time, you are a soul within it. This is the year your discipline must transform from obligation into conscious choice, from survival into sacred self-respect. Life lesson. If no one ever thanks you, would you still choose to stay? And if you're always the one who stays, who teaches others that they can leave? Let this be the year you rest before breaking. Let this be the year you speak before being asked. Let this be the year you realize that being dependable doesn't mean being invisible. Your soul was not born to be a machine. It was born to be trusted, yes, but also to be tended to. And when you begin tending to yourself with the same precision and care, you will no longer have to prove your worth through exhaustion. The keeper of time doesn't need to give less. They need to give differently, with boundaries, with clarity, with a sacred pause between effort and depletion. You are still Virgo, still powerful, still capable of carrying more than most. But this year, may your greatest act of strength be in letting something, or someone carry you too. Comment Keeper below if this is the Virgo path you've been walking and you're finally ready to release some of the weight. Now let's step back and see what all three of these Virgo paths are telling us together. In this final part, we'll uncover what it means to be Virgo in 2026, no matter which type you walk and what deeper role you were truly born to fulfill. Part 4, the Virgo Soul in 2026, a closing message for all three paths. You've seen 3 paths, 3 versions of Virgo, 3 blueprints carved into the same sign but shaped by time tension and soul memory. And yet, they are not separate. The architect, the sculptor, the keeper. 3 faces of the same devotion. 3 responses to a world that often breaks what is sacred. 3 ways of saying, let me restore what's been lost. Because if you're a Virgo, no matter your birthday, you carry one truth deeper than most. Nothing heals unless it's rebuilt, and nothing stays rebuilt unless someone stays behind to tend it. Maybe you're the one who fixes quietly, perfectly, invisibly. Maybe you're the one who softens the world through color, tone, emotion. Maybe you're the one who keeps everything moving while no one's watching. Maybe you're all 3 at different seasons of your life, and maybe 2026 isn't here to separate you into categories. Maybe it's here to call you home to all of yourself. This year isn't asking you to be more efficient, it's asking you to be more whole, to no longer split your identity between useful and worthy, to no longer mistake excellence for exhaustion. Yes, you see what's wrong. Yes, you hold the line. Yes, you care more than you admit. But now it's time to care for the one who holds all that care. Because Virgo isn't just the healer of others. Virgo is the healer of the healer. And 2026, it's not here to push you harder. It's here to ask one quiet question. What would change If you treated your own life as sacred as you treat everything else, life lesson, you were never meant to disappear into your purpose. You were meant to embody it with boundaries, rest, softness, and soul. So whether you are the silent architect, the devoted sculptor, the keeper of time, or all of them at once, you're not alone. And you were never meant to live your path by fixing, proving, or perfecting alone in the dark. You were meant to awaken, and then to walk forward with wisdom, softness, and grace. Comment below which Virgo path feels like yours, or if you found yourself in more than one. Your birthday may reveal the doorway, but your choices shape what you become. And if you've found something in this video that felt like truth, stay with us. This space isn't just about horoscopes, it's a sanctuary for Virgo souls who want to go deeper, who want to remember, and rebuild from the inside out. Subscribe. The power of the zodiac signs. Not for content, but for connection, for reflection, for the journey back to the Virgo you were always meant to be.